John McClain of the Houston Chronicle, who joins me here on the Rich Eisen Show. John, thanks for coming back on the program. You there, John?
Hello.
Hey, John, it's Rich. Thanks for
What's
coming
up,
back
Rich?
on.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What's going on with Arian Foster? What can you tell us?
He's getting a second opinion. He's going to a specialist, and he's got a severely torn groin muscle. He's going to have surgery. It just depends on who's going to do it. And he's expected to go on short-term injured reserve, which means he can't practice till after week 6 or play till after week 8. Rich, their bye week is in 9, so that means he wouldn't be able to come back until week 10. So he would miss half the season, at least.
So what happened? It just happened during
It was a
drill?
great thing, Rich. It wasn't any contact. They put the pads on. It was a night practice. He was catching a pass. He went down. He got up. He didn't even get carted off. He just walked over to the sideline. Truthfully, I didn't even know it. They didn't know how severe it was until they got the MRI back yesterday morning.
Wow. So what are the options here?
It is a severe blow to the offense because they were 5th in rushing last season. And even though he missed all of 3 games in part of 2, he still scored 13 touchdowns, had almost 1,300 yards rushing, averaged 4.8 yards a carry. Alfred Blue, who spelled him last year as a rookie 6th-round pick, rushed for 528 yards. He's been elevated. They're trying to sign another veteran. They thought they were going to sign Pierre Thomas, but his agent, Lamont Smith, tweeted not going to happen. In other words, they couldn't reach an agreement on the money. Don't know if they'll revisit that. They also worked out Joe McKnight and Ben Molina, and so I don't know if it'll be one of them, like McKnight, a veteran, or they'll look around. I kind of think now, Rich, they're going to go to Washington, practice 3 days against the Redskins, and they might sign somebody after that.
Well, I'm a John McClain, Houston Chronicle, who knows the Houston sports scene inside and out, unlike anybody else joining me here on the program. What about Ray Rice, John? Do you think there's any appetite for knocking on Ray Rice's door with Mr. McNair?
No way, Rich. Owner Bob McNair, he has, there's a lot of players he won't let them take when they come into the league. And one of the things he's big on is anybody who hit a woman. And even though Ray deserves a second chance and he's contrite and he's said and done all the right things, he's not going to be playing for the Texans.
And what about any other veteran of note who has nothing
They have
like
not
that?
reached out to guys like Chris Johnson or Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. It's not to say they won't, but they haven't yet. It was just 3 guys who worked out: Pierre Thomas, Ben Molina, and Joe McKnight.
John McClain joining me here on the program. What else from Texans camp deserves to get mentioned here in this space, do you think, John?
Son, you haven't asked me about the quarterback battle yet.
No, there you go. What do you got for me?
Rich, I've thought for quite a while now that it will eventually be Brian Hoyer. The reason he just fits this offense so well, he's used to competing. He has an extra year with Bill O'Brien over Ryan Mallett. Mallett has more upside at 27. He started 2 games in his career. And, of course, Hoyer's 10-7. They need the Brian Hoyer who was 9-3 with the Browns, not the Brian Hoyer who was bad down the stretch and got benched for Johnny Manziel. If indeed it is Hoyer Rich and he doesn't play well, they'll bench him and play Mallett just like they did with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year before Mallett got hurt. And I don't know, they might do it after they practice against the Redskins, and they may wait one preseason game when they play the 49ers.
Well, who's going to fill Andre Johnson's spot, do you think? Obviously, I know they have a lot of young receivers. Who's going to be this veteran leader on this team? Is it Watt, essentially, now, John?
Well, first of all, at that wide receiver position, Bill O'Brien. But it's Rich, I am getting a ticket for changing lanes without using a signal. And I'll just say this, it's going to be Nate Washington if they play today.
So do you need to go right now, John?
I have got to go because I don't want the cops telling me, get off that cell phone.
John McClain, the long arm
I'm
of the
pulled
law.
over on the side of Interstate 10.
Okay, well,
Thanks, Red.
okay, John, you take care.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.